How does McDonald's do it? Well, unsurprisingly, a lot of it has to do with the logistics, but let's take a look at the company for a moment. My name is Ryan, and this is a presentation on McDonald's logistics. McDonald's is arguably the biggest and most recognizable fast food chain in the world. The American giant operates in over 100 different countries and serving over 68 million customers a day. But despite having 36,000 restaurants all across the globe, ordering a Big Mac in France would get you the same thing as in Japan or in Australia. Although the company has not had the best financial performance recently, their logistical operation is still ranked second for the fourth year in a row in terms of quality by the researchers at Gartner. Now, to put it simply, supply chain is the combination of processes, functions, and pathways in which products, information, and financial transactions move between different firms. This movement ultimately connects the producers to the end users. In the case of McDonald's, their end users are the customers. Now, it's fascinating to note that McDonald's do not actually own any of their own suppliers. Instead, all of their ingredients are completely outsourced from other producers. Now, the company, at least in Australia, always seeks to use Australian produce and work with companies based in Australia where appropriate. Some of these companies include the Australian Food Corporation, AMB Enterprises, and McCain. McDonald's has a relatively direct supply chain. McDonald's supply chain can be broken down to 4 stages. Firstly, producers of raw materials will ship their products to the suppliers. In the second stage, finished goods produced by the suppliers will then be shipped to distribution centers and be stored there, until in stage 3, when restaurants place new orders for new supplies. Ingredients will then be delivered to these restaurants and assembled there, until finally, in stage 4, the finished products are sold to the customers. The internet and the advancement of technology in general has changed certain aspects of the company's way of operating. For once, there is greater knowledge and visibility across supply chain thanks to the new technology being able to facilitate better ways of communication. Information regarding the transaction processing system, inventory, and stock levels are constantly being shared amongst the relevant stakeholders. When it comes to delivering goods to customers, McDonald's have made things easier by partnering with Uber Eats. The app-based company is the result of the ever-growing significance of the internet, and McDonald's is taking an advantage of that. There are ways that McDonald's measure their logistical performance, but one of the company's main objectives boils down to never having to turn down a customer due to shortage. As said before, McDonald's outsources all of their ingredients, therefore there's always a risk that supplies are not going to be delivered on time, and as a result, McDonald's supply centers tend to order as much as possible at any one time. There's also the risk of not delivering supplies on time to each of the restaurants, so supply centers would send all the ingredients that a restaurant could ever need with each delivery. With this being said, McDonald's also wants to minimize the amount of obsolete inventory, or in other words, food wastage. As said before, transaction processing system data are constantly being shared amongst all stakeholders. This helps create a decision support system that helps manage inventory and measures and warehousing measures. With technology constantly changing and moving, McDonald's needs to keep looking for better ways to accommodate their partner companies and customers. This is due to the likelihood of their competitors also seeking to minimize costs using new technology. Now, McDonald's have made steps in the right direction by installing 2,500 digital cashiers in their various restaurants last year, and they're looking to add 3,000 more this year. The benefit of doing this is to lower operating costs by having less employees and increase the speed at which customers can order. In conclusion, McDonald's excellence when it comes to logistics and supply chain management have made the company what they are today. In spite of their sheer size, they still refuse to buy or create their own suppliers. Instead, they prefer working and creating strong relationships with numerous other companies, and while in doing so still maintaining a relatively direct supply chain. Now, in spite of being the biggest in the world, McDonald's still refused to be complacent. This is shown in their attempt to create better delivery system by working with Uber and by installing more and more
digital kiosk around their restaurants to reduce the waiting time for customers. So that was my short overview on McDonald's logistics. Thank you for listening, and goodbye.